I had my glasses off, just around my eyeball, and that's
Oh, shoot.
Once you sit on the sail.
Makes me nervous.
If we move on the chairs, you guys can also side by side. You're making him nervous.
Go.
It's a little bit different with you.
So waiting for 6 o'clock.
I know.
I was ready to
Watching
sit down.
paint dry.
I know, yeah. All right, so just for everybody in the audience, we actually have 2 meetings tonight. The first is just a public hearing for the property tax. So when you hear a motion to adjourn, don't go running off. Then the other meeting
Don't
will
get
be,
too excited.
will be right after.
Hold horses.
Yeah. And everybody's like, why wasn't my thing talking You're there.
Eric's kind of freaking him out back there.
Yeah, right.
All right, I have 6 o'clock, so call meeting to order. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's take a break for coming. We'll go ahead and do roll call. Doug?
Yep.
Michelle?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Megan? Sarah?
Yes.
All right, motion to open property tax hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion and second to open the tax hearing. Do you need a vote?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so thank you. This is the property tax hearing. This public hearing was published in accordance with Iowa Code 384.15a, which includes publication of the subsequent page in the official newspaper of the city, posting on the city's website as well. It's on the homepage with the date that it was posted. And the notice included the property tax levy and comparative information as required by law. The state asks us that we do an explanation of major drivers of change. So I just want to point out that like increases in property taxes for this next fiscal year are because of increased costs for materials due to inflation, increased labor and cost of living adjustments, and significant and much needed capital improvements to the museum building, the library, the pool, and the parks. So those are the major drivers of cost increases. And that is all we have. And Mayor, if you want to open it up to public comment or council deliberation.
Absolutely. We will go to number 5, public comment. Anything from the council?
I just feel this is with all the things that have not been accomplished in the past years. I think this is an important step that we need to take as a council to make the improvements that need to be made. And this is a very, very important first step. So I back this 100%. Just because we've got to have finances to be able to accomplish some of our goals that we've set out this year as a council to meet. So I think it's very important that anytime you talk about raising property taxes or property tax levy, people get upset about it, but they also have to understand that it hasn't been done for a while, and there's when you don't take care of things, the expenses get more, and we also need to make some improvements. So it's an important first step, and I'm pleased that we're headed in that direction to make some changes to increase our funds so that we can do some things for our city.
Great, and then I'll just make another note that we have nothing to vote on tonight. This is just for public, and council comments. But next meeting we'll be voting on the actual annual budget. So I know there's a couple of you're not really a new board member, you're a new returning board member. But the process will be that we'll adopt the whole budget in the next meeting, and then this is strictly just for the property tax today.
All right. Anything else?
Make a motion to close.
Second.
All right. Motion and second to close the public hearing. We'll take a vote.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Doug?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
And Sarah?
Yes.
All right. We will adjourn the public hearing. And we will move on to our regular scheduled meeting. We will go ahead and do roll call again. Doug?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Roger?
Here.
Megan? Sarah?
Here.
All right. Motion to approve the agenda as presented or amended.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right. Motion and second to approve the agenda as presented. Any questions? Now we'll go to vote. Doug?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
All right. On to the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right. Motion and second to approve the consent agenda. Any questions? Now we'll go to vote. Michelle?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
All right. On to updates and presentations for the city administrator.
Super. Just a bunch of small ones. First, the brush yard waste pickup is going to be starting April 14th. You'll see a flyer in your packet. Go from April 14th through October 27th, and pickup will be on the second and fourth Tuesday of each month. Educational posts will go on the website and on Facebook to make sure that people know like what we're going to pick up and what we're not going to pick up and what they need to do to get us to pick the stuff up. So there are some, some criteria here: no more than 50 pounds. It has to be out prior to 7 a.m. And then there will also be some prices coming out for the citywide cleanup. That's the next one on my list. So, any questions about this?
Well, I just have a comment on that.
Sure.
There are some people that don't follow that to the T.
Yeah.
A big one is they don't bundle stuff, and it sits and it sits and it sits and it sits.
Yeah.
So what is our recourse as a council to make sure that we don't have piles of brush sitting on curbs for weeks and weeks because people are not bundling branches and cutting them to the 4-foot lengths like they're supposed to, because it tends to be an eyesore on some of our streets, because people they assume that the city's going to come and pick it up regardless of how it's fashioned or not fashioned. And I understand how difficult it is to pick up stuff that's, not bundled correctly and not established lengths. But I also think we need to make people aware of it. If you're not going to do it, we're not going to pick it up, and here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
We do hang, when there's somebody that doesn't have it right, we hang door hangers on their door. So
Okay.
That with all the rules on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and we also deal with a lot of phone calls. People will call, say, hey, it didn't get picked up. We'll let them know why, try to negotiate with them. And it hasn't been greatly enforced over years and years and years, but last year I thought we made a pretty big improvement to it. This year will be even a little bit more educational. I think the more information people have, the better they'll be able to comply. It's just a lot of people expect the city to come and literally clean up their yard for them, and that's not the business that we're in. So
There's a lot of people that feel the opposite way, that they would love to just take care of it themselves. I mean, is there a way that we can, maybe on the weekend just park a truck somewhere that if you wanna.
Anybody call City Hall?
But I'm just saying, like if I'm cleaning up my yard and I don't have enough to warrant having filling a full truck, is there a place to set it in town that you could just?
No, really. I mean, it doesn't matter how much you got. If you want to do that, just let us know, park the truck in the driveway, whatever it is.
And you don't have to fill up a whole truck on the cleanup. I mean, it could just be a small amount on the curbside.
Okay. But I mean, there's a lot of people that would be glad to take care of it themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that for that whole truck. They don't want to do the bundle with the 4-foot.
Right.
Just park the truck in front of your house and go in. When they're done,
So can we make that public?
Yeah, I mean, you could share that with people. Like, we're probably not going to advertise that aggressively, but I think if you have a neighbor or something like that mentions that, or if people are talking about it, it's not like if we open up the floodgates, that truck might be parked. Yeah, like we don't have enough trucks for that. But if somebody needs some special circumstance or some special help or wants a truck parked there, just have them call City Hall, and we're super accommodating to anybody. And we get it. Not everybody can make the bundles. Some people can. We try to do everything we can.
We're just a very unique situation. I mean, most towns have a place that you just go and take care of it yourself.
Yeah, and we used to have that, but there's a property issue and crossing to get to the city dump. Yeah. So unfortunately, our staff is the only ones who are allowed to actually go on that property now.
And that has been discussed with the property owner, if we could make access to people in Strawberry Point?
Not recently. If you want us to
open that can of worms.
Yeah, we can re-engage.
You could save your city a lot of time if we could do it ourselves and bring it there.
I agree. Yeah, if you want us to re-engage in that conversation, I'll certainly call them and have it.
I think it would be advantageous to the citizens.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it became like an insurance issue, just.
It was an insurance issue because we don't have the right of way to get into there. So if the property owner is open to that, we can certainly work it into the law and get the right of way. Like, it would have to be papered, because if somebody hurt themselves doing that, we'd have to check with the insurance company and make sure that they're willing to insure people going onto there and dumping their stuff. So I'll engage in that conversation with the property owner, and if they're open to that, then I'll have those conversations with the insurance company, and we'll just put it in as a priority and get it rolling.
Well, I do know there's a lot of people in town that have a lot of brush through the season. I'm one of them with the trees that we've got around, and
Yeah.
it would be a lot easier if we could just.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to have those conversations.
I agree with that too. On the other side of that, I'll throw this in there, that when the dump site was open for us to go, when we took things up there were things in the dump that shouldn't have been in the dump.
Yeah.
And that gets to be a problem too, where you think, oh gosh, that's a free-for-all. I can put some stuff underneath my brush and hide it, and then I can dump it up there, and nobody will know that
Reaching
I've
out
dumped it up
couches
there.
and furniture and,
Yeah.
stuff that
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So let's-
that's the downside of it.
Yeah.
I would love to have that back, but
Yeah.
I'd also like to say I could trust everybody, but you can't, because they use that as a dump rather than a brush
Yeah.
pile.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's try to figure out some solutions around it. Maybe there's times where it's open and we have somebody there to monitor what's going in, or let me work it out. There's a lot of moving parts to this, so I'll start those conversations and we'll go from there. Next, we've got, May 1st is May 1st, right, the garage sale? Yeah, and then, citywide cleanup will be May 8th. There'll be posts and notices going out on Facebook and on the website around those. Today I emailed you, Iowa PBS did a feature on our strawberry. They came out last fall to, record some footage, and they finally published it. I happened to be wearing the same shirt in the video. It was not done on purpose. It was totally random, but just in case anybody thought that was kind of funny. Next, the horse hitch at the library site is up. Eric was able to find some materials that we already had in stock elsewhere, so we didn't really have any cost on it. A sign will be going up. We're going to finalize the wording on the sign tomorrow for the horse poop, and get it attached as soon as the sign is printed. Next, we received the $1,000 from Dairyland for the scholarship program. I remember a few meetings ago we talked about that. So in the next meeting, we'll have a sort of a protocol for choosing who the recipients of the scholarship funds are. We'll have a couple of different options for you all to deliberate on. And finally, in terms of announcements, just I hope that everybody has a happy and healthy Easter coming up this weekend.
Okay. Any questions? If not, we'll move on to new business. Number 10, motion to set final budget hearing for April 15th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at City Hall.
I make that motion.
Okay. Motion and second.
Second.
This is just the standard notice for having our final budget meeting and approval. So with this, we'll have the official budget notice that will have to go in the Press Journal next week. It looks like the same format as the one for the property tax hearing. So that'll go in there. That'll also be posted on the website, post office, so on and so forth.
Any questions? Not, we'll go to vote. Roger?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Okay. Number 11, motion to approve the use of the ball fields for the Junior Stars softball tournament, June 15th through the 19th, from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m., and June 20th through the 21st, from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion and second.
Great. All right, so this is a request from the Junior Stars to have a softball tournament. They anticipate that all the games, according to the email that's in your packet, all the games should be done by 10 p.m., but we put an hour buffer in there for cleanup, and, you know, there's always, you know, people that are going to be hanging out after the games. So this is several days. It's pretty much a week long. And during the week, the game times will be from 5:30 till about 10, and then on the weekends it'll be pretty much all day. They will coordinate with law enforcement. I know we've tinkered around with making that street a one-way on game days so that it doesn't create a big traffic jam. We'll work out all those details and just make an announcement, you know, a couple of days before it starts, and just let people know it's open and closed and what direction they can go.
I might make a suggestion maybe for the future going forward with that ball diamond down there. We should probably think about putting a sidewalk in one side of that park area, because it does get difficult to even walk there when they have those things down there. We usually walk our dogs twice a day through there.
Okay.
So And I have seen, you know, families and kids going across street traffic. It could potentially someday be an accident there that, you know, someone might critically get hurt, so.
And you're talking about a sidewalk on
On the baseball
On the baseball side,
There's
yeah.
no sidewalks at all on that
Right.
street, but it would be nice to have one at least on the park side of that.
Okay,
Yeah.
if there,
It stops right there at the end of the baseball.
Right,
diamond.
right where.
Right where the bleachers are, and then it's like, boom, now where do you go?
I know years ago we discussed, because there's nothing from the Civic Center all the way down that hill.
Okay.
Years ago, we had discussed.
if there's consent, obviously we can't vote on that tonight, but if there's consensus by shaking heads, then we can start to prioritize that project, and,
A long time ago, that was supposed to be part of the bike trail.
yeah.
I think we should at least look at the sidewalk.
Okay, we'll start pricing it out and
It'd
working
be a
on
lot
it.
safer when they have a
Yeah.
lot of activities down there.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, any other comments? Now we'll go to vote. Sarah?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Number 12, Resolution 2627, approving a sewer maintenance contract with CIT Sewer Solutions.
Before there's a motion and a second, pursuant to the memorandum that I have, whoever makes the motion, please make the motion to approve the updated contract. There were 2 changes that were detailed in the memo, and I want to make sure that we're approving the latest iteration of the contract, which has 2 changes on it that are noted in the memo.
So I make a motion, including the updated changes in the memorandum. Does that work for you?
Yep,
All
perfect.
right.
I'll second that.
All right, motion and second.
Great. So this is the service agreement. This is the company, and we have a representative here to answer any and all questions about the sewer project. I know there were questions last time, and I said that we would have him here at this meeting to answer any questions. So this is the time and place to get all of those questions answered in terms of like what that big sewer project is going to look like, what we're going to do, what we're going to get out of it, so on and so forth. So if you want to come to the podium, yeah, and then speak loudly when you answer any questions, because this is the microphone that's going to pick it up.
Sound good? All right, I'm Michael with CIT Sewers. Talking to Eric about, we got an I&I issue here in town, so we're kind of here to figure out what's going on, if it's broken pipes or storm sewer running in, just kind of figure out kind of what the issue is and, you know, how we can resolve it. So what the plan is we're going to televise. There's going to be no cleaning really. It's just we're going to go through, televise the pipes, make sure there's no breaks, offsets, which allow water to basically come in from the groundwater if it rains and whatnot. We'll also, as we're going through the lines, look at laterals, make sure those joints are sealed correctly. Sometimes there's separation there, so water can come through that. So kind of what the plan is when we go through the lines, you know, we'll start and make sure we'll hit the entire territory. We don't want to jump around because that could mean some lines get missed or whatnot. So I'm going to start in an area, if it's northeast, northwest, and just kind of work our way down towards the sewer plant. So that way we're hitting every single line. And then what happens is kind of when we're done, we'll get you a report with a binder, and then I think kind of as we're going along, if we see something that really stands out, we'll let Eric know right away too. Kind of from, also on the lateral side, we went and looked for, it was discussed possibly some pumps or anything we're running from people's homes, going to the sanitary sewer. So we'll look at it for laterals as well as if there's any clear water coming in. That's almost certainly a sign of like, hey, you guys got someone that's just using their sump pump, if it's, you know, the gutter's going down towards it, or, you know, something illegal is tied into that sanitary side. So the ultimate goal is to reduce the I&I here in town. So the plan doesn't cite 10x of what it can really handle, and that's kind of the ultimate goal. And that way you guys kind of know, hey, here's how the infrastructure looks underground. After we go through televise, we can say, hey, here's like recommended repairs. We see something major, NASCAR rating has 5 as the worst. That's like, hey, we need to get this taken care of right away, okay? And then it works all the way down to 1. So he'll have that. I'll bring the report. We'll sit down and talk, and if anyone else wants to be there, we can do so as well, just so everyone understands the report and what we're looking at. So you get an Excel paper, it's gonna be about 11 by 17, just so we can all read it, but we'll kind of go through that, and I'll mark out the worst lines. So if you guys wanna look at it individually, like, hey, you only have to click on this video, and it calls out like so many feet in, like, hey, here's like a break, or an offset in the pipe, you know, or, you know, possible storm sewer coming into the sanitary. That's kind of what we're here to look for. If we go through those steps, the plan would be maybe to, you know, smoke test after that, if we're still like, hey, there was nothing super major we found, just to kind of eliminate all our options. At the point of smoke testing, we'll want to let the citizens know we're doing it this day, so they don't think their house is on fire, and then we'll want to make sure the fire department knows as well, so people will be calling them, and we just want to be on top of it when we come on to the surface, so go ahead and whatever questions you guys got for me.
How long do you think this process will take?
Let's see, so we're gonna be televising, I think it was 26,000 feet roughly for sanitary sewer somewhere in that neighborhood, ballparking it. We can do about 4,000 feet a day, so I think I figured it was gonna be maybe 2-3 weeks, and that's just ideal, right? Everything's running smooth. You know, we run into no issues, we can probably get it televised in that kind of time. Which, I mean, we won't really need anyone's help. If we're doing something on the main street that you're like, hey, you know, let us know so we gotta figure out something with traffic, we could do so as well. But otherwise, I get the map from Eric, and I already have that. And we take a starting point, we'll number out, because I don't think on the map, I don't think manholes are labeled.
Probably not.
Yep, so it's up to you guys if you want to just say, hey, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, go that route, or we can say, hey, we're on this street, and then mark the manholes out that way. So just so you guys have a clear understanding of how to lay out and how we did it. So that's kind of the goal there.
Do you anticipate finding, knowing the history of our community, do you anticipate finding some pinch points that need to be repaired?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, Eric, at one point you said there's manholes that were kind of popping up or filling with water. I mean, I'm sure we'll find something there. If we don't, I'd be absolutely surprised. But, I mean, I'd be shocked. You know, I've been doing this for 9 months, and we've been in a lot of towns where it's very rare if I get a report back that says, you know, clean bill of health. So, I'm just saying that, you know, as candid as I can, so. But yeah, I'm sure we'll find issues, and I mean, you guys be well aware of what we find, so. But it's just, you know, good communication between us and Eric, and then just letting him know in case he needs to let anyone else know, like, hey, there's a major issue they found right away. But, I mean, it doesn't, you can take care of it, right? Like, there's some places where, let's say you're a pipe, and the pipe's broken up top, and you can see soil, right? That's only a collapsed pipe. You can, sometimes if the whole pipe is fine, you can get away with a point repair, and that's a 4-foot sectional patch, so you can go in and just patch that section if the rest of the pipe is fine. Those are kind of repairs we do. As for on the lateral side, in those joints, we go 8 inches in the lateral, and then 8 inches on both sides to seal right there between the main and that lateral, if you were to have IMAX. But that'll all be on the report. What I would say though is also, if Eric sees like, hey, there's a collapsed pipe, wait until we go through the full inspection. It's not gonna break right that instant. Obviously, it's been like that for a little bit. That way you guys can better plan on how, hey, this is how we wanna spend our money, okay? You know, if we wanna do the repairs, here's how we're gonna spend it. Instead of saying, might put me a quote for this one, well, then you got a mow charge every time we come up here.
Right.
Where it makes sense to package a bunch of them together, and if we could spend a week or 2 in town patching stuff, that'd be more worthwhile for you guys. So our crews can stay overnight and they'll be fine, so. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Well, I see that the records and maps and everything that you do will be available to the city.
Yep.
Upon request.
Yep.
So that we will have them for future
Correct.
references.
You'll get, with that report binder that I'll bring you, we'll have a USB in it. So you guys, it'll say, gosh, it's 2026, it'll say 2026 binder, Strawberry Point, and it'll probably say investigation TD on it, right? So that in that report we'll have all the notes and everything in there, along with the CSV that'll have all the videos attached to it.
Okay.
Yep. And then if you, for some reason, happen to lose it, feel free to reach out. We have a program called Sewer AI, and we can send a digital copy as well. So we could probably just do that as well, just to kind of, that way whoever needs it, has it on their computer.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you. No problem.
Yeah.
You guys.
When do you plan on starting this process?
So, yeah, we're waiting for this to be signed. But so at this point, once this is signed, I have the map, make sure that it's good with my team that, hey, here's the map. And then I'm guessing we'll probably get you on the schedule within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, it should be pretty quick scheduling right now. A little bit of a lull just because everyone's already starting on their next year's budget stuff, so probably can get you guys started pretty quick, honestly.
Do you have anything else?
I just want to thank the company for being flexible on those 2 points that are laid out in the memo.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Am I good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions, comments? Now, we'll vote. Doug?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Number 13, Resolution 2622, to fix a date for a public hearing on proposal to enter into a sewer revenue loan and disbursement agreement and to borrow money in a principal amount not to exceed $100,000.
Can I back up 1 second before you,
Mhm.
I'm gonna back up 1 second. So if they do this check and we find out some really major things that have to be taken care of that we don't have budgeted for, what's our plan of action?
The plan, we don't know what we don't know. So there is other funding available through the revolving loan fund with the state. There are sometimes grants. Like, I don't want to go too far into answering that because depending on what the problem is, there might be different solutions.
Okay.
Worst case scenario, if something is absolutely major and has to be fixed, we could always go to bond. We could always have short, medium, long-term loans to fix it. So, we had a lot of debt coming off in this fiscal year, which opens up a little bit of room. We will have debt for the new fire truck that we ordered last year that'll be ready next year. So I want to make sure that we're, keeping our debt loads in check. But even with what we would go to debt for on the balance of that truck, we would still have ample room to, borrow some funds to make major repairs that would not bankrupt the city or put us in a, really bad financial position. And so again, knowing where to prioritize, our thesis all along has been that maybe the infrastructure itself isn't problematic, but the stormwater getting into it somehow, and our thesis is that some pumps and gutters are plugged into that system, and that's what's causing the problem. That early evidence that we showed with the graphs that, we talked about this in the fall, sort of support that. So I have my fingers crossed that we don't have massive structural issues, but that we're going to have a compliance issue and have to go door to door and make sure that people are taking their gutters and some pumps out of the system. So, but that's, again, we're not going to know that until we know.
Until we know, yep. Okay, thank you, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Sorry.
All right, so I'm looking for a motion for Resolution 2622.
Make a motion.
One second.
All right, motion and
Great.
second.
All right, so if this looks familiar, it's because it is. We screwed up the reporting, the notice that we needed to put in the paper. We were missing a time and date, so we just had to do this hearing, setting the hearing date over, and then in the next meeting, we'll have that hearing again, just like we did last time. It'll be 30 seconds, won't delay the project at all, and I apologize for the confusion.
All right, any questions? Now we'll go to vote. Michelle?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Thank you. Number 14, Resolution 2624, approving the purchase of ADA compliant stairs for the city pool.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
right, motion and second.
Great, so this is, I have a representative from the pool committee here because there's a lot of pool issues. So instead of me answering all the questions, if there are questions about this, but one of the priorities for the pool this year was to have ADA compliant stairs so that people can safely enter and exit the pool. These came in way more expensive than I was hoping for or anticipating. But I did look at 20 different websites, and this product is fairly priced with this quote. And yeah, it's just one of those things where it's already approved by the state. You know, anything that we do with the pool in terms of getting in and out has to be approved. So this comes with already like pre-approved, apparatus for the pool, so we don't have to worry about that. And that is that. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Where's the location? Like, where do they go?
It'll be in the shallow end where the stairs are now. So the nice thing about
Next to the bench, where that bench is.
Like a 2 foot?
It would be the 4 foot section. So like when that area that shallow end on the bench is.
Yep.
It'd be like right when you walk in, it'd be like right before you get to that bench on the 4 foot. Basically right in as you walk.
Yeah. It's also not a permanent structure, so, we would have the ability to move it. And if there are swim meets ever in the future, they say that 2 people can easily take it out. There's wheels on one end to easily cart it, so if we needed that space for a swim meet or for whatever, we can yank it out of there pretty easily.
I'm assuming, does it have like railings then?
It has a railing, yeah.
Okay.
It's fiberglass, it has a railing, it's pretty heavy duty, and it'll...
So it's just like 3 steps down?
I think it's 5 steps, right?
You can't go more than 6 inches.
Yeah, it's more steps than we have now, because what we have now is not compliant, so I think it adds 2 more steps into the mix to make the steps much shorter. Yeah, 5 step.
Oh, yeah, so it's right there. Do we have the budget for this? Like, is there a grant we could?
Yeah, well, so, yes, when we talk about the shade structure later, I'll talk about the grant that we've applied for, which would be sort of all-encompassing of many of these. We don't know how much we're going to get, but we've applied for, I think, what was it, 40 or 45? Yeah, $45,000. We were told not to submit for more than 50, so we came in at 45. We do have ample budget in this year's budget. We decided to make investments in the pool, and we also have ample budget in next year's budget. So, some of this stuff may get paid in this fiscal year, some might get paid in the following fiscal year. But this does mark a significant investment in the pool, and the pool committee has done a great job in organizing and keeping a lot of energy at the pool, coming up with things that they think that we need to make it a more vibrant and more attractive amenity. I agree with their suggestions. It's just one of these things that requires money to have this kind of amenity. And but you'll see the theme of all of this is to be able to increase the number of hours that we have at the pool. It's to increase the attractiveness. We've got lights for night swims, shade structure, so people that don't want to sit in the sun. All of these things are trying to make it a better amenity that that can attract more people than what's used. So because I don't know that we're going to get the grant or how much, we've been led to believe that we should apply for this. So I think that something is coming, but I haven't had any confirmation from anybody. So we do sort of have to take the risk. But if the grant comes in at the full amount, all of this stuff tonight would be fully covered by the grant, and that would leave leftover budget for other improvements in the pool. And I will say this too, just piggybacking, other improvements that we can make there, like painting, we talked about getting volunteers to paint, we talked about getting volunteers to do, help with cleanup and so on and so forth. So on the items that we can do ourselves and make improvements, we're not going to just hire people to do everything. Do you have anything to add? I feel like I'm kind of rambling.
No, my main
So that's kind of where we're at.
Okay, I had a question, long-range planning. We had talked, or at least I attended a meeting last spring when they were proposing to close the pool. One of the reasons was the condition of the pool, the age of the pool. It needs to be replaced. And so some of these things that we're talking about investing in today, granted, could potentially bring more business to the pool, but are they removable? Are they reusable on the new pool? Or is it something we're going to lose our investment in when we do someday have to rebuild that pool?
Yeah, so the stairs are completely removable by two people. The underwater lights, I'm assuming, Eric, that we could take those out and put those in a revamped pool if we ever do that. And the shade structure won't have anything to do with the pool because it's kind of next to the building on that big open slab. So regardless of what we did with the pool, if we made it bigger, changed the configuration, whatever, that structure probably would not be affected at all. So I think these are good investments that are, that can be transferred into whatever we do. With that said, when we did have a pool consultant come out and look, we've had some thoughts that like maybe the pool's too small, this or that. The pool consultant thought that the pool was just fine, like size-wise. I know we definitely get some leakage that we have to monitor and make sure that the foundation is good. But I'm going with the assumption that the pool is good for at least the next handful of years, maybe even longer, 5 to 7 in the current condition with minor updates. The other thing that we'll be looking at is heaters for the pool. We've got heaters. We have no idea if they're going to go out this year or 5 years from now, so we have to keep some budget kind of, held back for that. But even those would be reusable, if we were ever to reconfigure the pool.
And does this puts us in ADA compliance then? Or?
Yes. Yeah. We still have to train and get people to use the lift. There may be people that can't get into the pool even using the ADA stairs. We have the lift. It is a priority to figure out if that thing actually is doing the right job or not. I've looked at other lifts and they're about $8,000 to $10,000 for comparable lifts. So if we can't get that one working, I should preface this so that we haven't had a single person that needed that lift, and so as long as it works and we have at least one person down there trained to use it, I think it's fine as is. If it doesn't work at all, then we'll need to revisit that.
I think the steps will be huge. I know the numbers at the noon swim are just increasing more and more and more every year, so I think the steps will be a huge asset.
And I have spoken to several people who are intimidated to go down the steps and they don't want to go on the lift, right? Like they can go downstairs, they just can't go down our stairs.
Right, the ladder,
Yeah, the ladder, So I agree with you, this will be a game changer down there, especially for, lap swim and stuff like that.
Okay.
But this does mark an investment in this facility, and that's an investment that hasn't been made there in a really long time. So these are not small items. I just want to kind of put the seriousness of the level of investment we're making there.
Well, and I agree with that 100%. With the condition the Backbone Lake is, I would just assume our campers from the park would come in and use our pool instead of driving to Manchester. And so if we can create some updates and get people from the park that want to get in the water and want to see our town, want to come in and use our pool, if we make it look better and function better, I think that'll be a plus.
Yeah. So fingers crossed on the grant. If that grant comes in at what we asked, that'll be a game changer for the pool. If it doesn't, we're property tax is paying for all of this.
And that's still investment in our community.
Absolutely.
It's still not a bad deal. Whatever happens, it's still not a bad deal.
Agreed.
The grant's better, but still it makes an investment in our community.
Yeah. And I think it helps, honestly, it gives us a lot of credibility for the grant makers to know that we're making this investment. It's hard for us to make this investment, but we're not only going to do it if we get grant money. Like that. This is really important to us. So hopefully that reflects well on us.
All right. Any other questions? we'll go to vote. Roger?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Alright, Number 15, Resolution 2625, approving the purchase of underwater lights for the city pool.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Alright, motion and second.
Great, so we kind of already talked about most of the investments in the pool. These are LED underwater lights that'll make night swims legally compliant, and it'll allow us to increase the hours, have night swims, sponsored parties, so on and so forth down there. So I don't want to beleaguer the points I've already made.
So how is this different than what we have now?
Yeah, they don't work.
Not very bright.
These are gonna be on a real line.
So will they go in the same spot as?
Yes, yeah, they'll retrofit, we're hoping, we're gonna buy one to make sure before we buy them all.
Sure.
We're trying to retrofit to keep everything just exactly like it is, all I just pull wires.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Any other questions? Not, we'll go to vote. Sarah?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Number 16, Resolution 2626, approving the ambulance service rates and fees for fiscal year 26-27.
Can I, before there's a,
Yes.
before there's a motion, I'd like to have somebody bring the motion to, instead of starting these in the fiscal year, to start them as soon as our billing company can update their computer system.
Oh, sure.
I just put it in there as the fiscal year because we're reviewing everything on the fiscal year, but we could be leaving some money on the table if we wait.
Sure. If we wait.
I'll make a motion, including if we start them as soon as that on the list.
Okay, and I'll adjust the resolution.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, motion and second.
Are you talking or am I?
Why don't you talk?
Wonderful. Do I have to stand?
Yes, you have to stand. No, but it's to get it on
You're
the
on
public
TV
record.
too.
Yes.
Okay, so, I don't know how many of you guys are aware, but while I have been going through paperwork, between moving offices and taking over full-time, the last notice of any type of, like, what we charge patients for our calls has not been, most of the rates haven't been updated since 2020. There's a few that were updated in 2020, but the rates expired in 2024. In November of 24, when we still had an ambulance board, we actually discussed it at that board meeting, and the rates that you see there are what we discussed, essentially raising those rates too. I don't know why the city never created a resolution between then and now, but here we are. So what I did is I did a cost comparison across 4 different services, similar to our side, similar to our type of call volume, and found that we were drastically lower than where everybody else is in the industry. Obviously, since COVID, most of our medical supplies, medications, oxygen, all that stuff has increased. You can't even believe, well, there you can. But, so obviously, we can't keep eating the cost of providing these services to the public. So I'm proposing that increase, as well as you will see under like the BLS, non-emergent, BLS emergent, ALS, etc. We're looking at increasing the mileage to $20 a load. I think right now we're at like $18.43. The top in the industry right now is about $26 a mile, and this would only be loaded miles, so patients in the back of the ambulance going down the highway. So the lowest that I found it was 20, and so I think we don't want to go out and shell shock the community with huge inflation in cost. So I try to keep everything as minimal as possible while making sure that moving into the next fiscal period that we should be more of a self-sustained service and less tax dependent is the goal. So I think the rates are fair. one new rate that is completely new to the city of Strawberry, would be for refusals and lift assist. These eats probably at least half of our call volume a month. Okay, this would be somebody dials 911, we show up, we do set of vitals, we put a Band-Aid on their boo-boo, and then they say they don't want to go to the hospital. Okay, well, if I don't transport a patient, we make no money. We will have one person call 4 or 5 times in a month, and that's what taxes down the EMS system. So, again, I went out and did a cost analysis across multiple agencies that I knew had implemented similar fees. I've seen it as high as $750, I've seen it as low as $300. I'm proposing that we just get the cost of what it costs us to dispatch a truck out to that center. Okay, if we put a Band-Aid on it, that'll be included in the cost, but I do think we need to be charging something. So, that'll be a newer one. You know, we could do public education if we need to. Most of the cities that I've talked to, they just implemented them like normal, so.
So then patients can't use insurance for that?
Correct, that would be non-billable to insurance. Now, if there is a treatment on scene, you know, let's say somebody fell down and sprained their ankle, and I put a splint and or Coban around them, you know, just to kind of stabilize it until it heals up a little bit. We all know you can go to the doctor for a sprain, they're not going to do anything, give you a quick review. But we could bill out for those, and that would then be billable to insurance. There is a webinar next month, I forget, it's April, later this month, over more mobile integrated healthcare, which would be more of a community paramedic aspect to the EMS world. It's something that IAMSA, which is the Iowa State EMS Association, is trying to push through with the consulting group. So they invited us to be a part of it because we are considered super rural, and we are a board member, or a member of IAMSA. So they asked us to be a part of it. I've already started talking with our billing company about what that billing process could potentially look like. And there's a newer idea that's being floated out there, but I don't really want to talk about it today. I don't know a lot about it yet.
So this is services rendered or just the door going down?
For these costs?
For refusal.
So the refusal it'll just be a flat 200.
Right, if that just means somebody calls 911, the door goes up, you're charged $200.
No.
That's
So they have to be an actual patient. If Hannah's walking out at Campbell Park at 6:00 p.m. and Doug's sitting out on the bench taking a nap, and Hannah thinks he's passed out and calls 911, and we go out there, Doug never called 911. He didn't request.
That's what I'm saying. You have to actually provide a service.
Correct. We have to be able to validate the fact that said patient is an actual patient. So if we go out there and let's say you call and you say, hey, I just need this check-in, there probably won't be a bill if it's your kid. Your kid wasn't a patient. You were the one who called, right? So if the patient is truly not a patient according to guidelines, the EMS guidelines, then they won't be charged. And there will be a set of rules that I'll submit to our billing company that we've already started talking about. That'll kind of light those out when I do the coding.
So if Hannah calls for Doug, but Doug's like, no, I'm good, I'm just taking a nap, he doesn't get billed.
Nope.
But like, if Hannah calls for herself, oh my God, I need an ambulance, and then you get there and she's like, no, never mind, I don't want to go, then
Then I'm going to explain, if you don't go, you're still going to incur a $200 fee
Okay.
for calling
But that's
out.
two different refusals.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So in the EMS world, if Doug isn't a true patient, to our guidelines, there was no patient. That's a canceled call in our opinion. So this would be truly something that Doug would have had to place a call.
Like they're asking for a service and then
Correct.
they refuse.
Correct.
Not to be transported.
Correct. If it's a child and they refuse, I'm calling that bill for it.
Right.
You know, because I mean, I wouldn't want to send an ambulance out to the high school to pick up a kid if it's 3 o'clock and they're out of school.
Right.
And they're just complaining of the tummy.
Right.
You know, I mean, some of it will be a little bit of common sense. We
Right, but we do still have to provide a public service to some point.
Yeah, correct. Correct, absolutely. So.
Okay, no, I think it makes sense, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Not, we'll go to vote. Doug?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, number 17, resolution 2628, approving the purchase and installation of a shade structure for the city pool.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, motion and second.
Great, so your second memo is, regarding the shade structure. We were noticing earlier that like the technical drawing just kind of really makes it look like a chintzy piece of, like whatever. So we put a picture of what this would actually look like, something very similar, if not exact. This is a really heavy duty, about a 3,000-pound shade structure. Each leg is about like 300 to 400 pounds, and it has a hip roof, all metal. And it has a quick release fabric top that is UV rated, so it'll be safe to be under there. It's safe in storms. It can withstand 115 mile an hour winds, and if we anticipate bigger winds than that, we can get the top off in a very short amount of time. This is from a company in Marshalltown. They will do the installation. We'll have some minor cement work to do some blending from wherever they carve into the existing cement. The technical drawing is showing red. That was the original color that we were thinking. The pool committee members suggested that we go with royal blue instead. They thought that would go better with the color scheme down there. So that's fine. Fine by me. We just think this is a big priority, and we'll hopefully be able to rent the pool out a little bit more often, and hopefully some parents that can't go and sit in the sun, or people who are sensitive, or whatever, will be able to go there and enjoy the amenity with their family.
Do the picnic tables come with it?
No. No, but we have.
And the mountains. And
the mountains. We'll get the mountains.
Yeah.
No, but we are looking at some other furniture options. That doesn't have as much of a lead time to get, but there will be some picnic tables under it. Hopefully nicer looking ones that are in the picture, but anyway. So that's where we're at.
Is there any idea on how long that fabric lasts, or how many years it's good for, or what the cost of replacement is, or that's all been calculated in?
It's we don't know. The company has said that it's a very specialized fabric that that has. Everybody's going to say it, and we all know that it's going to fade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't have a quote on what it would cost to replace the fabric. I could get that. I don't think that it's going to be an exorbitant amount of money. The bulk of its expenses is the metal frame. So, the structure. So,
Right.
What was that? It could be a couple of $1,000s, but it's not going to be 10.
Something that you might want to, think about that
Ask
too.
them what the time frame is for how long that's supposed to last. The fabric,
But now that we have a pool committee, we can always have them go up there and dye it.
You're gonna go there.
I kind of like.
Randy.
The theory, though, is obviously to put it away every winter, like
Yes.
you said, yeah.
Nice thing, the structure can stay. We just take the top off.
Right.
Fold it up and put it away, and so it's look, we got harsh sun.
Yeah.
It's gonna fade, but at least blue is a color that as it fades, it's not the ugliest color. Like faded brown or faded gray looks a lot worse than faded blue. So
I think wind will do more damage than the sun, though, don't you?
I don't know. These are I told them and this is an Iowa company, and these are made down in Texas, that we need something that's going to be able to withstand very high winds, and they said that this is the one.
They know that in Texas, I think.
Yeah.
Is there a reason we don't want to do something wood and
Is there a reason we wouldn't want to what?
just do something like wood and?
We could do wood. I don't think it looks very dynamic.
Right.
I think that the days of that traditional shade structure that looks like
The fertile.
it just looks like a roof on a house on 4 posts. It's kind of this seems so much more dynamic, it'll be much more visible from the state highway.
And I think this is gonna withstand probably longer with the metal than wood is going to.
Yeah, maybe so.
And it's easily replaceable, but we just don't know what the cost is.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Start to look.
So I can talk to them tomorrow and get a cost on the, fabric replacement. And what I'll do is if this gets approved tonight, and I hope that it gets approved tonight because we've got a 1 month lead time on it, but I'll wait to sign any purchase order to see if there's any objections to the cost of a replacement.
And find out kind of what they say, how long it's supposed to last.
Yeah, I'll download all the link specs, and so I'll get those out tomorrow, and then if there's not any objections by like Monday, then I'll go ahead and order it.
I kind of think the red would be better, but I'm not gonna argue with this.
I started to have that fight with them on Monday, and then quickly was like, okay, now red is blue it is. No,
I mean, the red would definitely show from the highway, you know. you'd see that.
I agreed, red was my first choice too, but we had a lot of people over there with very good taste, and they thought that the royal blue would look better, so.
I like the blue.
The what?
I like the blue.
Yeah, blue's good.
Yeah, blue's good too. It's just not gonna be as bright and, you're not gonna see it as well on the highway, but.
It is a Greek color, so it comes with my stamp of approval.
All right, any other questions? If not, we'll go to vote. Michelle?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Randy, for.
Thanks, Rose.
All right, on to other business.
No other business, we did plenty.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.